Hello, 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 and welcome to the Reg Company Podcast. I'm Dane Hennen. To my right, Levi Gates.
Hey, hey.
And to my left, Anthony Fisher. That's right. Oh, yeah.
I like that delay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Nice.
how's that delay? Feeling good?
Felt
All
like I
right.
was hanging on the ledge there.
Nice. I like keeping people
Save
hanging
me,
on the
Dave.
edge. All right.
Save me.
Edge
Pull me up.
of their seats. Okay, so, guys, we got to talk about our weekends first. That's what we do here.
I don't know if we should start off with our weekends
wait.
or if we should
This
start
thing.
off with the return of our weight loss challenge.
So for people who are only listening and aren't watching right now on YouTube, there is a
Bathroom
scale on the table in front of us. And what are the results?
Well, I paid for this with my own money.
I saw that.
Did you really? How much was it?
$20.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's actually
It feels
pretty,
like $20 worth of plastic. It's a very
those-
cheap scale, but it
$20
works.
scale.
I think it's nice. And I think it will create a good, how do I say this? A good base for all of our measurements from here on out. So
Yes.
we were just talking about this, and
We've got about 10, 11 weeks before we head to Waxstock.
yes. And so
That's a summer trip to the Great Britain.
And I
The
just got my new
UK.
passport in the mail. Thank God I have it. So
And Dane's
we're all
got
set.
got some swim trunks he wants to fit in, even though he probably won't be swimming when we're there.
So we're calling this the UK cut, and we've all realized that we have we need to lose some weight. We've gained some pounds from the holidays. And most people start their weight loss, in February or March. We took an extra.
We waited
month
till
just
after
to-
Easter.
We wanted to enjoy.
we didn't want to be those people who show up at the gym the first week of January and then disappear right
Right,
after.
yeah.
Those guys are
We
losers.
decided to wait for our first week and then disappear. So, hey,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So we thought it'd be fun to bring back this weight loss challenge. And the coolest part about this is we're gonna weigh ourselves every week to hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
From here, starting
That's why we
from-
bought a scale.
Starting from today, for the next 10, 11 weeks, we're going to weigh ourselves every week during the main show to see how much weight we're losing.
Where
Because
we're at,
what was
where we're
hard
at.
was the last time we did our weight loss challenge.
We kind of guessed. We
Yeah.
didn't really we weighed and
Yeah.
we figured out our weight, and then we came in.
Yeah,
we
we
talked
like
about
do it
it.
at home and then come here and be like, I was this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
that made it difficult because then really visually we could see Dane lost some weight. We could
Yeah.
see that you lost some weight. I was like lifting weights and eating at the
He
same
was
time.
gaining mass while trying to lose weight.
So that was like, all right, this isn't great. But what's so funny is that if you're a longtime listener of the main show, you'll know that we all went into it with different techniques, and it was
Yep.
just hilarious
Yeah.
because Levi was there taking thyroid medication and fat burners.
So not
Yep,
healthy.
And
Yep.
that was his technique.
Yeah. And I was
Dane-
at the gym. I was riding a bike
Yeah.
every night.
correct.
So-
and then Dane was
I didn't
on,
go to the gym at all.
Dane
Dane
was
was
on
full
the keto,
keto.
diet.
I went full keto and I lost a ton of weight
Yeah.
You
in a
did.
short amount of time.
Yeah.
40 pounds, 42 pounds,
Pretty crazy.
something like that.
Pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
So, and that was over the course of how long?
We did it
the
like
last
6
time?
or 8 weeks last time.
Yeah, that was fast.
Yeah.
It was
and
mostly
so-
water weight, just a bunch of tub.
Well, you lost. It was like something was like 10 pounds like the first
Yeah.
week and a half.
Yeah.
or
Yeah, you
something
guys
like
were
that.
freaked out at that point.
Like,
You're
oh my
"Whoa."
gosh.
We were like, this is happening exceptionally fast. And
Got to be
so-
honest, though, I got a lot to lose. So
Well, you've gained some of it back.
some of it, I got all of it.
I
back.
think you got all of it and maybe a little bit more.
It's been a year though, so
So we thought we'd do this, and then this is set us up for summer. I think we're gonna be a lot happier
Yes.
going into this, and then hopefully maybe we can.
Well, hopefully it'll because we're gonna have a trip in between.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll help us curb our
want to
road eats,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Because
The way
we
when we go on the road.
How do I say this? When we're on the road, we like to enjoy the finer things.
The finer gas station thing.
yes,
Um,
I was
and
gonna say
so
gas
we'll-
station
we'll-
treats.
We will pick up a little more Slim Jims and a little bit more sugared Red Bull than what we probably
Sour Patch
need.
Kids.
Yeah, and the amount of gummy candy I
Yeah.
eat is kind of unreal. So I think this will be able to help us and hopefully keep us on track. So,
And your dad
and
is-
Jeff wants to get in on
is
this.
going to
Yeah.
get in on this as well.
So
So he's very excited about
I
it.
really do believe, I think there should be a prize. Last time we didn't really have a prize.
didn't,
We
yeah.
really need to brainstorm. So we actually want the help from everybody listening to this and everybody watching this.
Yeah.
Comment down below, what should the prize be? Should we I mean, money is very motivating, but I know that
Sure.
money also only goes so far, and
Yeah.
we're all rich here. So I don't know if we should all pitch in something. Should we all maybe say like, hey, we take everybody out to dinner. That'd be kind of lame. I don't know. I really don't know. Or like a cool prize.
Yeah, maybe something fun. I like that idea. I think having an incentive would be a little easier to
I think
make this
I think
fun.
Publicly displaying this is some
I think
incentive.
this is probably the funnest thing. It's just the public
It keeps
display.
us accountable.
Yeah.
Perhaps taking photos of all our weights.
I can hear Ivan talking right now, though. The only motivation you need is to feel healthier. I don't know why you need to put another token in front of yourself, a carrot, if you will. No, just feel better.
I feel
That'll make you
healthy
feel
all
better.
the time. I just don't work out or eat as well
But
as
if
I
I
should.
lose weight, then I can get rid of sleep apnea and all these other things that are just obnoxious.
Yeah, that's
And,
true.
you don't want to be the guy who goes in the swimming pool with like a T-shirt on. That's just not.
I was that guy this
it's not-
weekend.
Yeah, I would have been that guy. Well, the hardest part I think for me is that I'm just hungry all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And when I back down the amount of food I eat, I'm still hungry, right?
Yeah.
So like I get kind of irritable a little bit. So I need to figure out a way to
Satiate that hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
he gets hangry.
And I think a lot of people don't. I mean, trust me, guys. I've have a very large history in the whole fitness thing. And back in the day, people would say, "Oh, you can chew on this or chew on this or eat this." I've done it all, and no matter what, I'm still mad because I basically need a massive amount of food.
He's looking for that sustenance
to feel happy or to feel like I can conquer my day. So back in the day, I would pretty much just curb all of that with just caffeine and a lot of caffeine.
Which is why I feel like you would really benefit from keto because that satisfies that.
Well,
angle.
I know, Dane, but I also
It's not sustainable.
the last time I did keto, it was horrible. I felt extremely bad for my bathroom.
People
So,
talk about
I will
the keto
say
flu.
this.
I don't think you had that.
I will say this though. I agree with less carbs.
Yeah.
I don't agree with full keto, primarily because I get to speak to an endocrinologist once a month, who I've asked the question to. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And he says keto's great for quick weight loss, but it is not sustainable. You can't keep doing that to your body.
And I hear that.
So you do have to bring in carbs. You do have to be able to change, but you do need to be able to. It's a great jump start, but then it does need to be balanced with something else.
To me, it's a few months of keto, and then after that, it's just portion control.
Yeah,
and
if you can do that, that's great.
And then I do.
But you should probably also start exercising.
Well, intermittent fasting as well. So that is something.
I'm going
that
old school with
works for me.
my tried and true. I'm going to do some just normal, low carb, high carb cycling is what it is. That's what I always did.
Yeah.
And basically, it's like 3 low days followed by 2 high days and 3 low days.
Yeah.
The hardest part is just tracking it. So what I'll have to do tonight is I am going to write up my own plan, my own diet plan, and calculate my calories and my macros and all of that.
That sounds like work.
And
I'm not going to do
it
that.
is,
I'm not doing
but
any of
I
that.
only have to do it once, and then all I have to do is just follow that plan.
Yeah.
And if I follow it, it will work. If I stray away from it and say, well, I'll start messing around with these apps that calculate my calories, and then I'll start to get a little greedy. I'll say, well, I had 1 cookie today. Oh, now I have to make this adjustment here. I don't want to do that. I just want to say, this is what's tried and true. It's boring. It's bland. I'm not going to like it, but whatever. I'm just going to go with it. So, pain and suffering.
But that's fun. So we're all doing it different ways.
So what do you do, Dane? Are you going to go keto again?
I'm going to go keto.
So you're going to carb cycle as well as work out.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be as militant about it as I was last time. I'm going to find just a comfortable balance and go as needed where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to plan it out fully, but I'll know the right things to eat, the right things to not eat.
Okay.
Essentially just kind of balancing out, reducing carbs, but increasing good fatty stuff, and avoiding sugars where I need to. But the big thing for me is combining that with intermittent fasting, because my whole issue is, like, the reason I'm this way is my metabolism just isn't that great. Because
Sounds like
I'm
you might
a guy,
need some thyroid.
as you all know, I'm somebody who goes into editing mode.
Yes.
When I do that, I don't eat, I don't drink. It's very
But
unhealthy.
you go
I
into a
just go through-
sedentary state.
I basically hibernate while
Yeah.
awake,
Yeah.
and I don't need to eat, drink. I mean, I should, but I don't. And then at the end of the day, I go, oh, okay, time for a meal. And then I have like a huge dinner.
And then
That's
you go
what
to
I
sleep.
do. And then I go to sleep. It's not a good method. Like, anybody looks at that and they're like, oh, God, so unhealthy. But, like, I'm bad. I don't usually have breakfast or lunch or any of that stuff. I just have a big meal at the end of the day. So my metabolism is like nothing.
And coffee.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's basically that.
So I'd also like
So
to
I
make it
need
a
to
goal to
adjust
drink
that.
more water every day.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
my other thing is
Yes.
that I think the water is going to help
Drinking
me the most.
a lot of water.
And I think that like my water consumption right now, I'm drinking maybe 2 or 3 glasses a day on then whatever else I
Yeah.
drink. Other than that, I really need to bump that up to about a gallon a day. And I don't want to. I don't want to say 120 ounces. 'Cause I know that's not really realistic. If I can hit anywhere from 80 ounces,
So I've been able to do 2 of these. This is a 44-ounce cup.
yeah.
Except
can
it's
usually-
Diet Pepsi.
No.
He's like, so
It's not
we're like-
exactly
we're like,
water.
that's not
Yeah.
impressive.
No.
You always drink that
No,
much
You're
Diet
I
always
Pepsi.
drinking
I
that.
drink 44 ounces of Diet Pepsi, and then I drink about 88 ounces of water the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because that's what I do when I leave. Like when I finish this, I go fill it up with water,
Yeah.
and then I drink 2 of these.
Yeah.
It's easier to drink with a straw.
So I want everybody to hold us accountable for everything like that.
Yeah.
Post motivating comments. Maybe if
So-
you see us lose any weight, go for it. I also want Katie, my fiance, if you're listening to this, Katie, hold me accountable. Please no more chip cookies or ordering any type of crap
Oh,
food
man.
because I can't
We
do
can
that.
we can order chip cookies and send them to him.
No,
and he won't
that,
be able to
that
not
would
eat it.
literally be that would be
Oh,
That'd be-
that's so
Think how
mean.
great that would be
Brutal.
to be like, oh man, these chip cookies came from Levi. That was so
That's
nice of
so
him.
bad.
yeah.
That's
So
really nice.
and
Better
I
eat 'em.
so I'm
Wow.
so I'm tossing all my Easter candy
All
today.
right,
I'm
all
tossing
right.
it all.
So
or
I didn't
my
have
ace.
any.
So here's what I have up my sleeve that I didn't have last year.
Mm.
20 microgram increase on my thyroid medication
Yeah.
this year.
I was gonna mention he's the one talking about how he talks to the endocrinologist and all that stuff, and got to be healthier. He's the guy chewing down fat burners last year, just like
Yeah, last year I was.
crushing them,
he's like
snorting
and
them.
he's like, and it didn't benefit me, so I'm
Didn't do
upping
much. So
the-
this
the
year-
He's
hard
doing
stuff.
lines of fat
So
burners.
this
and
year-
it's not healthy.
So this year it's a 20 microgram increase in levothyroxine.
Okay.
I have that. I'm pounding those alpha males,
Yeah.
that supplement that I started 2 weeks ago, and I can already see benefits of it.
So he got a head start.
I'm going to be doing spin and cycling, and then I'm also starting that body pump class,
Oh wow.
so I can build a little muscle, but mostly tone it. I don't need to blow out my joints and things like that.
Yeah, blowouts.
I'm
are
just
fun.
building a little more muscle and little weight action. So that's what I'm going to be doing,
Yeah.
Okay.
and more water.
Mhm.
So I'm going to keep doing this. But my other thing, so sometimes I like to do a mix, Diet Pepsi and Pepsi. I'm going to be doing straight DP.
Wow. You're gonna be just DP in it.
Because I don't want those, false calories that Pepsi provides.
Mm.
Solid sugar Pepsi. And last but not least, lower carb intake.
Okay.
Just not a crazy amount, but
Right.
I'm going to eat like meat and cheese.
Just being
Like
reasonable
deli meat
about
and
it.
cheese.
I'll basically
night for
still
dinner
have
and
burgers
stuff.
and stuff. I'm just eliminating the bun.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So-
what I'm going to do too.
Yeah.
So not going to be eating as healthy. Like I'm not increasing my fruit and vegetables because, that's laughable.
It's
really.
disgusting. You're
Yeah,
like, yeah,
I
that's-
mean-
I would never eat that.
Yeah.
But
But I'll eat more deli meats and cheese.
But I'm with you on the
Good.
water
Like
stuff.
maybe go to
definitely.
to Uncle
Bumping up the
Giuseppe's and
What I
get
would-
some boy's head meats and cheeses.
Boy's head.
You know what I would really like? I wish we had a urinal upstairs. We have one downstairs for when it comes to doing number one. I just feel like it's a lot of a faster approach than the toilet bowl.
So that's part of your weight loss plan is to
Yeah.
go downstairs and use
Correct.
the urinal.
Yes. So going up and down those stairs
Okay.
several times a day from
All
drinking
right.
that
This
water.
is absolutely scintillating.
I like
detailing
this.
Talk,
All right,
gentlemen.
anyway.
Absolutely.
Let's
Get it
weigh
back on
ourselves.
there. Let's weigh
do it. Let's
ourselves.
weigh ourselves.
All right.
So, Dane,
Okay.
you're going first?
Yeah.
All right. So
oh, man. This
hot
is
pod
exciting.
talk. Here we go. Dane is getting
All right.
on the scale.
Set it, Dane.
All right, just set it. Wait. 000. Here we go. Dane
Stay on it.
Jeffrey Hennen
245.
245.0.
245 pounds.
No, we're just gonna. Well, I don't know. Tim had a great question. Are we gonna base this off a percentage?
We can do both. What,
I think
245?
percentage is good.
We need to write this down or document this. Tim, document this in your head. All right, he's written it down.
All right, here we go.
Levi's up
194.
194 pounds from Levi Gates.
There we
Wow.
go. All right.
Okay.
Anthony's
Doctor.
Fisher.
turn.
Oh, God.
On his way up here.
Oh, God.
And for those of you listening, sorry, you
We
can't
have a
see it,
scale
but
in our
yes.
in our room here. We're doing this.
You should really tune into the Rag Company podcast YouTube channel and watch this incredible feat.
All
go
right,
down.
hop on there. 194. Here we go. 226.
Wow.
All
well,
right.
hold on.
AF.
No, I did that just a minute ago, and it was like 223. But
Let's try. Okay, you're going to do a second weigh in.
And that was kind of weird.
It's a cheap scale, guys.
226.
It may be a little bit inaccurate.
What are you talking about? That was the finest scale Rite Aid carries.
The finest one you could get for $20.
The only one they had for $20.
Even better.
226.
226. That's
It's confirmed.
All right.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Doubling it up.
Oh, wow.
Well,
226 pounds.
Anthony's got a lot of weight to lose.
I got fat.
He got 26 pounds to lose.
I know. I want to get to 200. That's my goal, is getting to 200.
So I'd like to get to at least 175.
Okay.
You guys want your numbers back?
Yeah.
All right, so Dane is 245.
Okay.
Levi is 194.
Okay.
And Anthony is 226.
Wow.
Boom.
Okay.
All
So realistically, but let's talk.
So I want to
about-
lose like 20 pounds.
Well, let's talk about height. So how tall are you?
5'10".
Okay, Dane.
5'8".
5'8". Okay. I'm right under 6'1". So for
Our weight,
For-
our heights were
for
pretty
our
good.
height, except for Dane.
I'm a big old fatty. My
Sorry,
BMI
Dane.
is more of a really.
So hey, think about this. Your
It's more of a-
your doctor, and your intestines are going to be happy
Yeah.
after this challenge.
And that new friend that tried to kill you.
New friend who tried to
The
kill
little
me.
part of your body that
Oh.
decided to like try and find a new home
Yeah.
on the other side of your
his,
body.
his twin that was living inside him.
Yeah. No, nobody likes that. So,
So-
yeah.
Holy crap, man! 226.
So you're gonna. So what do you want to get down? 195.
No, cause so when I was into heavy lifting and I was really into fitness,
Heavy drug use.
and heavy drug use. No, I was 195, but I was also around 4% body fat.
Okay.
So that's not realistic. When I was about 200, I was around like 10% is what I was.
Okay.
205. I would like to get to 205 would
Okay.
be realistic. If I hit 205, I'll be freaking
Yeah.
so happy, but I don't know. We'll have
Yeah.
to see, because basically to burn 1 pound of fat, you're pretty much burning 3,500 calories. Or you need to use 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound.
Yeah.
And that's going to be kind of hard, because over a period of a week, right? You could lose a pound a week. That's pretty realistic. But we only have 10 weeks. So that'd only be
Yeah.
10 pounds.
Yeah.
I need to lose more than that.
So you need to burn more calories and eat less food.
Yep.
And
so
still not be hungry.
So I will have to work out to reach that goal.
Yeah.
So Dane, for example, though, being on a completely different food intake, a
Yeah.
completely different lineup of things, he's going to be losing a lot of water weight. So he'll lose 10 pounds of water weight right off the bat,
Yeah.
like he did
Frankly,
last time.
my goal is to get just below 200. If I
Yeah.
can do that, then I'm solid.
Dane, if you can get below 200, I think
That'd be
everybody here in the
that'd be
office
amazing.
would cry. I think your
Yeah.
parents
I think your
I think
parents
your
would
parents
would like.
would just die.
My ideal weight, according to the BMI, is somewhere around 170, 180. At least that's my ideal weight. If you look at the BMI, it says like 160.
The old high school Dane.
Yeah, no, BMI is like BS.
All right, so
sometimes,
does
but-
everybody have a nice pair of running shoes, walking shoes to do your workouts in?
Oh, I'm set. I even
Dane?
got some new headphones.
Dane, I think you should get some walking shoes. And I think, you know what? Get Callie on
Oh
that
no,
on that
I'm taking
weight
the
loss.
dog. We're going for walks.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the move.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Sounds good.
So that's the
'Kay.
plan. Now let's talk about our weekends.
So,
Yes.
everybody had a good Easter?
Yeah.
Decent
Mhm.
Easter?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very nice.
My family,
Really quick,
what?
Morgan's not here. Let's
Oh,
just make that a point. Morgan
Ah.
is she's actually working right now.
she's doing customer service
doing
stuff.
a lot of customer service, so she didn't have time to jump in with us. But we'll see her probably next week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I had, we had Easter. Had a good little Easter. I took Friday off, so I gave myself kind of a 3-day
Yeah.
weekend. Guys, this is something you should do for your wife every once in a while. Basically, I gave my wife the day off.
Oh yeah.
So what I did on Friday was I got up, took the kids, got them ready for school, got them fed, all that stuff, and then took my daughter to school. And then Augie and I came back to the house. My wife got ready and was out the door by 9 a.m.
Nice.
And I basically told her, go have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I will see you later. And that was it. And so my wife went and did her thing that day and ran some errands and had some fun. And then Friday, I picked up the kids from school. I took them to Lego Club, did all that stuff. I worked in the yard, got a gazebo built, that we had bought for our back patio, and did all that kind of stuff. Kind of picked up the house a little bit. And then Friday night, we rented a hotel room at the Grove. And so we stayed at the Grove Friday night, took the kids swimming. And so we met my wife. She showed up at the house about 6 o'clock. And we all headed over to the Grove and did some swimming and playing and hanging out. And then the next morning, met my folks for breakfast at the Trolley House on Saturday morning. And then did the Saturday market. And then Saturday, we just spent the day cleaning the house and getting stuff ready and had Easter. And that was fun, though. It was having kids and having a night where you don't sleep is not fun.
No.
My daughter decided to wake me up every hour while we were in the hotel to tell me, it's midnight, Dad, because it had a digital clock.
Oh, yeah.
And so she was like, it's 12 o'clock. How many minutes till breakfast? It's like 8 hours. Go back to sleep.
At least let me have a few of those to sleep.
And then she wakes up again at 1:30. It's
Oh,
1:30 in
no.
the morning, Dad.
Yes.
How many hours till breakfast?
Hold on, really
Oh,
quick.
no.
My USPS guy is here.
Anthony is checking his phone, looking at Ring, folks.
No,
Yeah,
dang
this
it.
whole
This
time he's been
this
on here,
message
he's
brought
been-
to you by Ring.
No, I missed the delivery. He just left me a you guys can see. He left me a message.
You didn't tell him?
No.
Hey, I see it. Just leave it.
Nope. He just left.
Well, that's too bad for you. You're going to have to pick it up again tomorrow.
Yep.
Hopefully you can be there, available, ready.
I'm just curious on what it was that I missed. That sucks, but oh well. Next time.
That's
But,
okay. I don't think it was for him. I think it was for All Day Anthony.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
but
Yeah,
anyway, so
exactly.
then-
it wasn't for you.
So it was fun, but the kids did their thing. Carly went and got some food for us later that night. We hung out, watched the lightning storm go across. We had a view of the city because, I mean, the
Oh,
Grove
yeah,
is a
you guys
beautiful
would've had a
hotel
great view.
right downtown. However, for the price, this was a discounted rate,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Not all that nice for its current rate.
Really?
Normally, the Grove Hotel runs about $240 a night,
Mhm.
$250 a night,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? We got a deal. It was $100 plus taxes and fees and all that.
Sure.
But not even worth $100 for that hotel room. It
Oh.
was
Really?
very small, even though it was a double. Very small, kind of cramped, a little tight. It was. I've been in Holiday Inns and Best Westerns that are far nicer than this hotel, so it was a little surprising, right? Because you think the Grove, it's gonna be nice, it's
Oh,
gonna be
the
great.
Grove, yeah.
No, so
You know
anyway,
what, though? I think that's one part of the Grove. I know that there are some suites in there.
oh,
that
there are some
like,
suites. I wasn't paying
presidential
for a
suites,
suite,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah, no, there's apartments up there that are 3,000 square feet, 5,000 square foot apartments.
I'm mad I bought a Geo Metro. Why isn't this a
Yeah.
Aston
No,
Martin?
it was just a room. Like most
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of nicer newer hotels downtown that are expensive, and this has
Yeah.
always been one of the top
Yeah.
hotels.
Grove
So
has
to,
always been looked at as like
to
that's
go
it.
like, oh wow, the Grove is $100 today. Like I'm gonna grab a room
Yeah.
while it's there. I mean, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then we got in, we are like, oh, this is.
Oh.
Wow. I mean, that place we stayed at in
Super
Atlanta.
8 in it right
The,
now.
the place that we stayed in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That was a much bigger room.
It was
that-
simple, but it was shockingly
The beds were comfortable,
and
all that
nice.
stuff,
in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
And that was what, a Best Western we stayed at, or what was that?
One. Oh, that was a that wasn't a Best Western. That was it was a Hampton, I believe.
No,
Was it not?
it was next to a next to a Holiday Inn.
Are you talking
Right.
about the one that was next to the Olive Garden?
Yeah,
It was a beautiful hotel.
That was
It
a great
I
hotel for
love
the
that
price.
one.
I think it
Right?
had recently been remodeled.
yeah, but it was nice for $80 a night.
It was your typical, like, not down in the dumps, but just like a budget hotel.
Yeah.
But not like a Super 8 budget, but just kind of like that mid lower level.
Yeah.
We all had a fantastic breakfast every
Yeah.
morning.
This
Yeah.
place they charge for breakfast at the Grove, so that was
Do
kind
they
of like
really?
all right.
Oh, that's-
Also, the Friday night Front Street fights were going on,
Oh,
so we could hear the fights going on downstairs,
Yeah,
like
that's
the
what-
MMA battle.
hey kids, cage fighting.
Yeah, no, it was like awesome. Like, so that's why it was discounted, because it was fight night
Yeah.
at the place. But anyway, so but that was fun. It was a fun experience for the kids, like
Sure.
to kind of teach them about a hotel and that kind of stuff. And then had a great Saturday, and then Sunday did Easter with my family, which those of you that remember from last year, Gates family Easter includes money.
Oh.
So you put money into the pot, and then the eggs and the money are all divvied up, and each egg has a dollar denomination on it. And the kids hunt the eggs, and then they cash in their eggs at the end, the plastic eggs, for money. So Augie walked away with $40, or Hadley walked away with $40 yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Very
Augie,
nice.
a whopping $64
Wow.
in his egg hunt. So
Well
way to go,
done.
Aug. There, he's got some money.
$64
$64.
to a kid his age. That's
Yeah.
literally like
When you're
That's
4
a
years old,
fortune.
he's going to be 5 this weekend.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
How many
so,
Legos that can buy you?
oh, he was like, I want to buy Hulk hands with this money. And I'm like, Hulk hands is $10. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's do that, and I'll keep
He's
your
a
50.
quarter of the way to a used Power
Yeah,
Wheels.
he. But yeah, so he was pretty excited. Hadley was a little more miffed because one of her cousins got $132 at the egg hunt.
Holy
So
cow.
what it was what kind of threw off the numbers was eggs. So at the last second, one of my older cousins brought out a bunch of actually painted Easter eggs and started handing them out and hiding them that didn't have a denomination on them.
Oh.
So some kids grabbed a ton of the plastic eggs, and other kids went for the really pretty. And my daughter went for the
I
really
was going to
pretty
say,
handmade eggs instead of the plastic ones that she just left on the.
aren't they concerned those might break?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so that was the other thing. My wife bought some cascarones, which are the eggs with confetti in them,
Yeah.
right, as a fun thing for the kids.
Yeah.
So then Hadley thought that those painted eggs were those,
Oh.
and proceeded to go out in our backyard on our patio and smash all those hard-boiled eggs
Oh, wow.
out on our patio. Now Watson, our corgi, loved it and was sucking up the yolks on all of them.
Mm.
He had a great time.
Delicious.
Just went straight Rocky.
Yeah. So, needless to say, but that was our Easter, so it was a good time. Weather was nice, even though it was windy.
Yeah, it was
Got to see a lot of cousins and family members at the Gates family function, and then came home, and we had Carly's family over for dinner. We had some pot roast and some rolls and funeral potatoes, and
Oh,
it was good.
funeral
So
potatoes, love 'em.
yeah, so hung out, one of those great staples at the Cracker Barrel.
Wow.
No, but yeah.
I guess
So
I'll
my
never know the joy that it is.
yeah, so we made those. That was great. So that was my Easter. What did you guys do?
Nice. In my case, we kept it pretty simple. We actually got together and decided it would just be my brother and my parents.
Yeah.
And we went to Grimaldi's up at the village. Just had
Oh,
ourselves
love-
some nice,
En- enjoy
pizza,
your last Grimaldi's run,
Italian-
Dane,
Yeah,
because it's
no.
done from now on.
So enjoyed the Italian atmosphere. Had a
Mhm.
nice little stay there. And then of course, when you go to the village and you eat, you then go to a movie.
Oh,
So after that, we went and saw Shazam, which
Nice.
was really fun, by the way.
Did you like it?
I really enjoyed that, and I've been kind of harsh on DC movies over the last few years. It was a little bit long, and you know me, if I'm a little bit critical, I would say the pacing was a little bit mishmashed,
Yeah.
and Zachary Levi's guy versus the kid. Their personalities didn't quite match up as much
yeah.
as they maybe should have. However, credit the kid actors in that movie were great. Like
Yeah.
normally, kid actors are real. It's not always the best, but in this case, the kids did a great job, and I thought it was a really, really fun movie, and I was really shocked at what a good presentation they did for people like giving foster kids a superhero. Like that's really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty neat. But I thought it was a fun movie. And after that, we then left and went to my folks' house, and we watched the second episode of the new season of Game of Thrones. So
nice. Yeah.
that was a follow-up there, and also awesome. And I'm pretty sure everybody's going to die. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Dane, you're not supposed to talk about Game of Thrones.
Oh, I'm not spoiling this for anyone. Literally,
Just letting you
everybody
know.
who watched this
Okay.
episode is like, "Oh, they're making this way too happy. This is what happens right before something
Yeah.
horrible happens."
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
haven't. I still haven't caught up from season 3 of Game of Thrones. So
Game of Thrones.
Game
I don't
of
think that's a
Thrones.
movie.
Oh.
A show in there, Anthony.
Now I know I've been
So-
watching the wrong series.
Like I
if they're-
started watching that supernatural
Yeah.
show, Game of Thrones, about those two brothers.
Not the same. So so that was our Easter.
Yeah.
We kept it fairly
That's how we
simple.
felt. That's how we felt too.
Yeah.
Everybody around the fire dies.
That's
our
like,
guess.
This is well, I don't even want to go that far.
Yeah.
This is not looking good.
Guys are ruining this whole
yeah.
show. So-
There's so many people who are pissed off. It's like we don't know, you don't know. We're all
Yeah.
guessing. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case,
George R.R. Martin doesn't even know because he hasn't been writing this last 2 seasons. So
yeah. Oh,
this is far away from the books now.
literature Santa.
Anyway,
Okay, so apart from that, the rest of my weekend, a little before that, doing a lot of
you
yard work.
stuffed some things inside your Volvo. They were much
I
bigger
did.
than most things would be able to handle.
Correct.
Yeah, you're shoving a big thing into a tight space.
Okay. So
Oh,
I have a
okay.
Volvo V50 T5
But you did
all-wheel
that.
drive. Very proud of that car.
Yeah.
Love that car. It's a wagon, and I'm about the long roof lifestyle. So I enjoy having a wagon, a car that's both fun but also utilitarian. So in this case, I stuck, what was that, 16-foot piece of
That's what she said.
expansion joint.
Yeah.
So I found, for those who aren't familiar, expansion joints are that it's not wood and it's not fiberboard. It's like this weird in-between thing. It goes in between the garage floor, which is all epoxy and concrete and stuff, and a driveway. And there's a little gap there that basically is like filled
Correct,
with
yeah.
dirt. And then there's this expansion joint. And it's basically kind of like a flexible fiberboardy kind of material. The one I got, I went and got it, and I brought it to my house, and I realized I hadn't really measured before. It covered about 2/3 of it, and I still had another third left. And I was like, crap, I got to go back and get another one. So I went and got another one and filled it in. But it was actually more work than I expected, digging up the existing dirt that was in there in the old one, because the old expansion joint had finally started to just like crumble and fall apart and fade away, which happens. But you don't want to let that happen too long, because then bugs start to get in it. It's stuff you don't want getting into the house, essentially, or the garage. So I just figured it was time to replace that. So I did that. Got rid of some weeds around the house, did some basic things. I noticed there was like a wasp nest that was starting to appear in my grill out in the back, so that's super fun.
Well, you turn the grill on.
I haven't used it in like 2 years, so it's
let
that's
that
why they
sucker
start to
burn.
appear.
Yeah, just
So-
warm it up. Let's hit the button.
Not gonna lie, I don't know if I'm allergic to bee stings. I've been stung by them before, but I'm not looking to find out either. So
Does anybody else take the approach to where like you have like a wasp nest and you get your can of spray?
WD-40.
I got
And a
myself
flamethrower?
Oh,
No.
that's fun.
Okay, that works exceptionally well. But I'm the kind of guy where I like prepare myself, and I'm like
27-foot
so-
stream.
So I'm like, okay, how far do I have to run to get
Yeah.
inside the house
Oh,
at
yeah.
this point?
No, I had a buddy of mine actually broke his collarbone.
Ooh.
He went and hit a wasp nest with his shovel.
Oh God,
And
no!
when he-
Don't do that.
He went to knock it off his house, right? He went and saw it, and he was like, "Oh, I'll knock that off the house," right? So he goes and hits it, and like part of it comes off, or he sprayed. No, what it was he sprayed it.
Gravity.
He doused
It's
it.
gonna come down where you
No,
are.
he doused it, right? He doused it with wasp killer, right?
Okay, so he's not a
First.
total dummy. He
Sprayed it.
tried to.
Then he left for like 3 hours, right?
Okay.
Then he came back, and he goes, "That was a good 3 hour. Like it had
They
sat."
should be dead, yeah.
He goes, "They should be pretty dead in there."
So he was strategic. about
Smacks it with the shovel to knock it off the house. Well, what happened was he knocked it off the house, and when he did that, they all just like came out from behind the eave. So the wasp nest was actually up underneath the eave, and that was just like an entrance to it. And when he did that, he went to turn to run away, and he tripped
No.
on the on his ground,
Yeah.
weird footing, rolled his ankle, landed, and broke his collarbone.
God.
Didn't get stung,
Wow.
but broke his collarbone.
Basically, the bees look
That's
and they're
even
like,
worse.
I
Because
already
he was
feel
like,
bad
"Oh
for this
crap!"
guy.
Turned, went to red, and then just like boom.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh no, that was not what."
So
Yeah.
realistically, he planned it out. And
He planned it
still
out,
got
still
screwed.
broke his collarbone. Yeah.
Jeez.
So
Okay. Well,
be
yeah.
careful killing those wasps, folks.
So, I hung out the little hanging, reusable traps and stuff because I find those to work pretty well, at least around my house.
Yeah.
It collects a lot. So, got rid of a lot of them, but, just basic around the house stuff. My problem is I have this huge tree that's in my neighbor's yard behind me, and it drops everything into my yard. It's in their yard, but it leans over into
So
mine,
get
so
a
everything
dude to come
falls.
cut all the branches straight up.
So I could do that, except this is one of those massive trees where unless I hire a service or get a cherry picker, I'm not able to cut
Hire a
those
service.
that's funny. So I basically looked at that, and then at a certain point I was like, okay, I've done enough of this, and then I went down, as most car enthusiasts do, spend a little time on Craigslist. You start looking around at cars just for fun, and I can't afford to do this because of my medical bills, but I have suddenly developed a slight addiction to 2007 and up Jaguar XKRs.
Okay.
So basically, but the coupe, not the convertible.
Yeah.
So what I like about that, kind of like what Jim White has. He has a white one. That's very nice. But what I like about him is they're hatchback.
Yeah.
And that appeals to me because I like utility. At the same time, I want a performance car. I think it'd be super cool to have something like that. Yeah, it's not the most practical, but at the same time, I have kind of wanted like my next step sporty car to be something with a V8.
You should tell Liz that. Say that it's what you
So-
want for your birthday.
So a classy Jag,
Tell her that's what you want.
You can finally jag off.
Good Lord.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Anyways,
So
guys.
speaking of jag-offs,
speaking of
Anthony.
jag-offs, hey, guys, so my Friday started off pretty lonely. I mean, so Friday,
That's how it starts, man.
So Friday night, I ended up getting home, and I think like the first thing I wanted to do, this is one of those like projects where I'm like, I don't have enough time to do this, but I'm gonna attempt it anyways. Was repaint my windshield wiper arms on my Civic. Right, 20 years of daily driving, these things are just chipped, and they're pretty much mostly chrome at this
You
point.
start seeing the metal underneath.
Yeah, it just looks bad. And I already
it's the
kind of
same way.
rewrapped my trim, so I thought, okay, this is probably the next step. Now, I've done this before with really little success. Typically, it doesn't end well. And
It doesn't last.
So, well, and the thing is, everybody, when you see all these tutorials and people online doing it, they're like, oh, I just took a 2-in-1 primer in black, and I just shot it and called it good, and it looks like it's.
They don't tell you that within less than a week or a month it chips again.
It's
and
peeling.
back.
And
Yeah,
so-
mine peeled.
So that's where I was like, okay, I'm gonna attempt it like this. So what I ended up doing, ended up sanding them down. I think I got them to about 600 is what I ended on after sanding off a majority of most of it. And then I shot it with matte black wheel paint, right? That Duplicolor wheel paint. And then I went back over it with the Duplicolor matte clear. And I'm thinking, all right, if this stuff can hold up on wheels, it should be able to hold up on these wiper blades. And let them sit overnight. They looked pretty good. Next morning, I was looking at them, and I was just kind of being picky and examining them. And I saw like one little area where there was kind of like a chip. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to pick at that thing, right? I want to see if it's on there. Bam, I pick at it. Literally a whole chunk of the paint just comes off. And I said, cool. So basically,
All your work for naught.
I've done nothing. Like, I've done nothing at all. I wasted however many hours doing this. And, of course, I had to pull the car out of the garage. I had to hang them up on my ladder with a hanger and shoot them hanging off. There was like a little bit more work than what people would mostly do. Yeah. So I said, okay, screw this. I'm starting over. I'm back to the store, picked up some primer, actually sanded them down, then primed them this time, hoping that the primer may help with adhesion a little bit more, and then rinsed and repeated the same steps, ended with clear coat, and then just a little bit after the clear, I just threw some OptiSeal on them because we had that weird storm coming.
Yeah.
So I threw some OptiSeal on them. I said, hey, let's see how these things hold up. And at this point, they still look fine. They have not chipped away. They still look good to be holding up. I have not picked at anything yet, so we'll see what the long-term results are. But it was funny because halfway through that project, I forgot that I had signed up to do a Grom race. And
God, that's right.
So
I forgot that you were a Grom.
so
You're a semi-professional amateur
forgetting all his Grom stuff lately.
Grom racer.
I completely forgot about this, and there was a guy that basically coordinated with one of the local their Grom group that the new Triumph dealer in Meridian over there by the Majestic Theater. It's a co-owned Triumph Indian motorcycle store, and then next to that is the Harley Davidson, and that whole area is just biker area. They have a biker bar there. It's all where you see all the bikers, and so the guy that was coordinating the grand opening of
having
this,
a Grom rodeo.
Basically, he's coordinating
Grodeo.
the grand
Rodeo.
grand opening of this event.
Grand opening rodeo.
And had asked if the Grom group was interested in doing some racing there. And what they have is they have a little demo area for people learning how to ride Harleys, and where they hold the Star Course and things like that, where you could learn how to ride. So it's a pretty good sized lot, and they set up cones and things like that. And I said, yeah, sure, I think this would be fun. Doing time trials or something like that, this would be fantastic. That was the plan. I'm looking at my clock at home. It's 1:55.
You're like, I have to put pants on.
The event started at 1, right? So I was 55 minutes late, and I said, screw it, dude. I'm just going to show up. I want to watch anyways. I know I missed this thing. So I just throw on whatever I had, throw on a helmet, and I zip down there. As I'm pulling up around this parking lot, there is about 70 people lined up around this parking lot, right? Like
in Groms?
Like, no, just people, like viewers, watchers, and I'm like, what is happening? So I'm riding past them, and I see the open lot, I see all the Groms lined up, and everybody's waving at me and honking their horns, and the guys like wave me in. So I'm sitting here like, holy crap, am I on time?
They were waiting for
did
you.
I make it? So I pull up to this thing, and without even skipping a beat, right? The guys coordinating these things, they walk up, they say, hey, are you racing? I'm like, yeah. And they said, okay, here. I have my gloves on. They're handing me pens and papers and having me sign waivers right on my bike. And they're like, okay, sign here, and sign here. If you fall and die, it's on you. It's not on us. And I say, okay. And I say, what's the plan? And they're like, well, these guys have had an hour to learn the course and build the course. So you need to learn what they learned in an hour
awesome.
and about 2 minutes. And they said,
Cool.
this guy's going to run you around the course really quick through the cones. And then you're going to have one step to do like a little hot lap around it and then line up with everybody else. And I sat there and I said, I have to learn this freaking course in 2 minutes with all these cones.
Yep.
And they're like, yep, just go for it. So
You're late, buddy.
I hit it really quick. By the time
You get for being 55 minutes late to this event that you
Not 15,
built, that you
so
put,
55.
you okayed, you
So-
sanctioned.
So I went around this thing. By the time I lined up, they said, okay, so we're going to have groups of 3, so it's going to be 3, 3, 3, 3, but all of you are lining up at the same time. And they put me in the front. And I said, wait, so I don't know this course, but you're putting me in the front of this. And they're like, oh, you're going to be fine. And then I said, but wait, I thought this was a time trial. And he's like, oh, no, all 12 of you are racing at the same time.
And
What?
that's why the crowd is there, because they
And-
want to see the
And
chaos.
I said,
Oh.
wait, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, this is crazy. This is going to be, this is very dangerous. I mean,
if you
like,
fall
there's
and die, that's
12
why you signed the
people
waiver.
on this
You're like,
small little course.
I don't like to hurt my Grom.
And so, yeah, exactly. And that's when I hear the guy radio to the lady on the corner. He's like, hey, so if they go down on that corner, you need to be the first one out over there. And I'm sitting there, they are expecting us to fall on these little maybe bikes. I'm like, this is
I
sick.
love this, though, because
and
this
twisted.
is Anthony's nightmare.
No,
Oh, my
it's
God, I
honor-
might scratch one of
Not
my
only
things.
am I late, but I'm going to possibly scratch and or harm myself.
I like to imagine this is karma for being late.
So anyway,
It's like
basically,
and then he woke up on the couch.
so how they started this race was not only did they flag us, but they lit one of those smoke bombs, right? And just lit it and threw it in the middle of the course.
Oh
so
my
now you have
God.
all this smoke everywhere, and we take
That
off.
is amazing.
And
Wow, I'm sad I
basically-
missed this.
basically, needless to say, I forgot the course the second we
oh,
started.
I imagine so.
And
You're
everybody
just trying to
passed
keep
me.
your bike upright.
No, literally everybody passed me, and I was in the very back. And for 10 laps, I was pretty much, me and this other guy were next to each other, but I was like sitting to myself thinking, this is not worth wrecking my bike over. And not only that, they did not sweep the lot before it started. So there was sand on the lot, and there was dirt on the lot. And I'm sitting here thinking, they wanted us to crash.
Yeah, no, it sounds like they
They
wanted
wanted
to
us to
make a
crash.
show.
And I'm sitting here thinking,
What was the prize?
like, you guys are this is funny and I get it, but these bikes cost a lot of money because of all the stuff we have done to these things. If I drop it and I ruin some fairings, or if I break a lever or something like that, it's not $10. I'm still looking at several $100s to fix this, like you would a big bike, because we all have money into
Yeah.
these things. But there was a couple guys, needless to say, in these groups of people, there's always those guys that don't care and they will win at all costs.
Yeah.
So one of these guys, dude, he was literally sliding everywhere. He almost slid into the curb. He locked up his brakes. And he didn't care if he
That's
wrecked. It was
awesome.
just one of those guys that didn't care. But race ended. I came in dead last, unfortunately. But the first place prize, $150 at the Triumph store.
Pretty good. I mean,
second
that's not
place-
bad.
Second
For
place,
that much risk, I feel like it should be more.
yeah.
Should have been more. Should have been like
like
500
500
bucks.
Second, I think
bucks,
second
yeah.
place was like 50 or 75, and then third place was $25, and then everybody else got keychains and stickers. Basically, is what we got, and it was a blast. It was kind of eye opening. What was cool though, what I did like about it is it gave my Grom purpose other than going on just longer rides.
Mhm.
Meaning I could actually get to like bounce back and forth between
Play
the
with it.
suspension and learn it on a closed lot. And it was a lot of fun. And they asked if we wanted to do it again. I said absolutely, but I wouldn't do a group race like we did. That,
Yeah.
in my opinion, that was like, dude, if somebody went down, that it really could get really hurt. If somebody ran
Oh,
over
yeah.
somebody's leg, it's still gonna hurt just as bad. So, and these guys were wearing, we were wearing jeans, t-shirts, and gloves.
Flip flops and
Bunch
Like-
of squids.
Like we
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
not dressed to race. Like nobody was.
Everybody
And
showed up thinking it was like a little.
we thought it was time
hangout.
trial. We thought it was like you go one at a time,
Yeah.
like anybody else would.
yeah,
but
no, it clearly sounds like they were looking for some
Eh,
destruction.
Yeah, whatever. So that, anyways, that ended up happening, and then following that, I'm trying to think of what else I did. I think I just went home, knocked out my lawn, mowed my lawn, fertilized it right before that major storm hit on
Yeah.
Saturday night, and that was kind of nice.
My wife tried to mow the lawn on Sunday after that storm hit.
Ooh,
Oh no,
that's
yeah.
not. A
I
good
timed
time.
it
We did
perfectly. I fertilized, and then right next thing you know, I'm like, yes, like God has
The
blessed
heavens
us
opened.
with this rainwater.
That was a
and
ton of rain.
It was a
Yeah.
ton. It was my grass is looking so green though. Like it's been 2
Mhm.
days, and I'm like already like, wow, it's amazing. So that night, didn't really do a whole lot. Just kind of hung out, and I'm trying to think. So since Sunday, so for Easter, went over to my parents' house first thing in the morning. Just had half the day there. We did an Easter egg hunt
Yeah.
and all the normal stuff. And I ate a ton of food. My parents had smoked tri-tip, and they had all this other stuff. And we, I just one of those days where I just overate. And
Yeah.
then I went to Katie's family's house out in Middleton, where I also overate more food. And then we played board games, and it was a pretty good time. And then later that night, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I think I want to make my Grom a little peppier. And so this is so stupid, but it was eye-opening because after that last ride I was telling you about,
Right,
where
where you
everybody
were-
was passing me up on these uphills that weigh 120 pounds, this weight loss challenge going towards my Grom rides is what this is doing.
Yeah. So you got to
But-
get. It's like adding more horsepower. Only you're dropping more weight.
Correct. And so I was like, you know what? I also want to make it a little peppier. So I ordered an intake for the Grom, which is funny. It's like a short ram little intake, like you would put on a car, but it goes on the Grom. And I ordered that, and then I had to get a little electronic fuel controller that can control the fuel because now I have an exhaust in an intake, and it can only compensate so much. So this sends more fuel into that.
I like to imagine it looks like a little dish cleaning brush.
No, it's I don't know. Well, kind of. I mean, it's very small. But so I ordered that. So I'm curious to see what kind of difference that's going to make on that little baby
Yeah.
bike. You know, it could be pretty cool. Who knows?
Better throttle response is always fun.
We're talking about 1 to 1.5 horsepower increase.
Yeah. Well, so
Bear in mind,
I
how
had
light
a
and
friend.
small
I
it is.
I know exact. So when I was in high school, I was on the drag team for Bishop Kelly, and I had a friend who had a legit, non-street legal, like it was like a '74 Oldsmobile Omega,
Yeah.
so kind of like a Nova,
Yeah.
or Pontiac Tempest or something that they had.
Sure.
But anyway, he had put slicks on it. He had put traction bars. He had put a roll cage in it. Took all the headlights and taillights and all that stuff out of it. Took most of the glass except for the windshield. But I remember one day he literally said to like me and my buddies, he was like, I spent the weekend cutting out my doors. And we're like, what? And he's like, cut out all the supports in my door frames and my trunk.
Oh, God.
He goes, I got 100 pounds out of that.
Yeah, and
Like
if you
his
crash, you
car-
will die.
He was 300 pounds.
Oh.
Oh my God.
So he
High
had,
school,
yeah.
300 pounds. Holy
yeah,
smokes.
he was a big boy.
Yeah.
But he was so proud of himself for cutting 100 pounds of weight out of his car. He was like, it's going to drop 0.2 of a second in the quarter. He was very excited about that. And all of us looked at each other, and all of us were running about 120 to 150 pounds.
Yeah.
We were like, you put any of us in that car, and
was
it's
just
going to be
saying-
way faster. We'll be
Yeah.
dropping half a second with that new mod you just did.
Yeah, he did a driver mod.
Yeah.
And suddenly, hey, it's all good.
Yeah, and he did. He was pissed because one of our buddies bought like a stock Mustang LX, like a 90, and took it and drove it his first time, and like
Beat him.
2 seconds faster than him in the quarter. And he was so mad because he's like, I got a non-street legal race car, and you're beating me on something.
And this Fox body just beat you, so
Yeah, this bone stock Fox body that he bought from an old lady literally just beat him.
love it.
But yeah, so I know exactly when you drop some weight on that bike, and with your new performance mods,
Dude, I think it's gonna
I
be. I
mean,
think it's gonna be a killer combo.
throw Tim
but-
on that bike, and you might
Oh,
have a fast-
he'd be flying. Dude.
Tim's just too tall.
doing first gear power wheelies. Yeah, no, it's. I think it's a slow bike, and there's a lot of people that put a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
Ideally, I don't want.
I'll give you the motor out of my scooter.
Well,
My wife's scooter.
I can just do that, and then it's sketchy fast. Then
I was telling Jimmy about that because he was asking. He's like, "Do you ride anything cool like that?" I was like, "No, I don't. My wife has a scooter.
Yeah.
I ride it up and down the street, but that scooter is not designed for that motor.
No, it has one of those stupid, powerful
It's
Chinese motors.
Too powerful for what the wheels and tires and suspension and geometry are. Like
Yeah.
it'll do 45 all day, but it is a scary 45.
Because it's one of those like
And it could probably do 60 if you let it.
nice hack job knockoff scooters. It's
It is.
nice, but it is not like
It is
designed
speed wobble city
cohesively.
at
So-
45.
Just
Oh, I
terrifying.
forgot one other thing I did over the weekend is that I posted some pictures. I purged myself of my old microfiber towels.
I saw that.
Ah,
Yeah, you were
yes.
sending us
So
pictures.
I had to go through all my bins and all the things I've just.
I just
you
throw
know-
mine in the trash.
Well, that's where
I use them to clean up like oil and.
So I have the ones that are bad, and those pretty much live on my trash can. I just pull them out when I need to. But what these are towels that aren't bad. They're probably like C to D grade towels that they can still absolutely use and they're still good. I just, I have nicer towels than that now, and I don't need to pull those out. I never find a reason. They're those towels that everybody probably has this where you're opening your bin and you're sifting around those. Like you see them and you said,
yeah, where's my newer one?
I see that one. I don't want that one. And then it just sits there.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't get
and
used.
you never use it. And a couple of them were like some 16 by 27 car wash towels that were just beaten to death. And I said, okay, I'm probably never going back for those. There were some spa towels in there. There were some other random branded towels from years ago. And I just said, I'm never going to use these. I need to do something with them. But they were still good and they were still useful to somebody. So I just made a big old stack of them and posted it up on my Instagram saying, hey, if anybody's local that wants these. And there's a lot of people that hit me up all over the country and they said, can you ship them to me? Can you ship them to me? I said, listen, these are not nice towels. These are not worth shipping. For the cost of shipping, you can just go buy towels, new ones that are actually nice. So there was one guy that was local that said, hey, I could really use them. And I know he could definitely use them. So I said, all right, cool. I'm going to bag these up and then we'll meet up this week and you can pick them up from me because I feel bad throwing them away because I know here in the office we have towels lying around everywhere. A lot of these towels are really nice that
We're spoiled.
We'll set aside. So like I know that I have access to nice towels at any time and I have really good towels at my house, but I don't want to be wasteful because I know that there's people out there that are using the worst microfibers.
There are people
in
out
the
there
world.
who don't have the money to spend on nice microfibers.
Well, they went to the big box store. They got a pack.
Or they just buy some, but they don't realize that they bought bad ones, and they say, "Oh, these are."
They don't know that they can afford good stuff.
But
they
like
think that it's too much. And
they're reusing the pack they bought
Right.
5 years ago from Costco.
I had a
or
buddy.
something.
Like I had a buddy
Those
who brought
towels
it.
are done.
When my wife went on her bike ride, and we were putting the bike in to her friend's car, and her friend goes, "Don't look at those towels," because he had some 85-15s sitting there.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh." So they came with us on Friday night.
I'm judging.
They came to go swimming with us, and he was like, "So I saw you didn't like my taste in towels." And I said, I go, "Those were pretty poor quality there, buddy." And he goes, "I had to buy those because Max threw up on a road trip and I needed some towels to clean up the vomit. And I stopped at the gas station and just grabbed those." He goes, "So that's what those are there for. Those are just emergency towels."
I just
and
like
I
that
was
the
like,
people in our lives are on the defensive
They
about
totally-
their choice. And
totally.
We
So
don't.
I
It's
totally
okay.
understand, but I just
It's
said,
okay.
you should come by the store and pick out some nice towels if you need some quality microfiber.
Yeah,
They can
and
get you some nice stuff for cheap price.
You just open up your trench coat.
Value
like some of
priced.
these,
Yeah,
or-
Yeah, and we- I
Well,
mean-
to be fair, I was sitting in a hot tub.
Oh well.
So
well, we had a
my
bunch
trench
of
coat
we had
was
a bunch of
already wet.
messages over on Instagram over the weekend about a lot of people. Reaching out, saying, "Hey, I want some high quality towels. I'm picky about the GSM. I'm picky about this. I'm picky about this. But I don't want to spend a lot. Can you point me in this direction?" And we do have towels that do meet a lot of these requirements that these people are
Well, the
asking.
car wash towel is
It
perfect.
is.
Towel.
Exactly, and but I think people
They think it's more expensive than it is.
Right.
I think they do, and I think they think that they can't get into something, so they have to say, "Hey, but I don't want to spend a lot of money." And I say, "Hey, dude, for what you're getting, if you were to invest in this, just a little higher quality version of that towel, not only is that towel going to last you longer, but it can be put through a little bit more abuse and things. It would be like somebody saying, "Hey, I want the 245s. Those are great." And I say, "Hey, I agree. The 245s are great towels. You should bump up to the 365, and you're going to get more bang for your buck, and they're going to last a lot longer."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, but that sounds too expensive." And I'm like, "Oh, but wait, they're not. they're
Well,
not
it's that
though.
old adage,
They're
like you
not."
could buy it once or buy it right or buy it twice.
Yeah, just because
You
it's
know, buy it
cheap
wrong,
and you're like,
like-
I can buy this one for like 4 times before I get to the cost of that other one. It's like, Yeah, but you are going to buy it
Well,
4 times in a
good
short amount of time before that other one
A
is
good
ever close to
example
done.
is I sent you guys pictures of
Yeah.
some of these towels that I've had, right?
4 years old and they look
so
fine.
I sent you a picture of a 4-year-old split purple-nality,
Yep.
and I sent you a picture of a 5-year-old eagle,
Yep.
right? Because
Yep.
that eagle that I always said was 4 years old is actually now 5.
Right.
Yeah.
And it still looks good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's been dried with heat a couple times. I can see that now. And then my split purple-nality definitely has been dried with some heat because that thing is.
Yeah, it
looking,
started to mushroom up.
Yeah, it's looking pretty fluffy.
The
but
pile's looking a little
yeah, blown out, as we say. But
chunky.
but the thing is they held up. After I don't know how many hundreds of washes I've put them through. But it was funny though, is going through all the towels and the ones I said, okay, hey, I'm going to give these away to somebody. The towels that really did hold up the best, the 365s, fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, creatures in there, minus some fraying on the edges. The actual towel was perfect.
They're hardy.
I mean,
Closed-
it was
Closed loop construction is really durable
it was
when done right.
very
Yeah.
impressive to see. I think really the areas that I think the few towels that I said, okay, these have definitely seen some abuse. I had a couple Dry Me Rivers in there that were going on 4.5 years old,
Yeah.
old satin edge on those, and those have begun to kind of string out, and you can see the satin on
Sure.
the edge of
Yeah.
the border starting to wear down. And then the kerpluffle. So I had a kerpluffle in there that had been through a lot. And even that was pretty great. I had one small pinhole, I think, in the middle of the towel that I can put my finger through. But other than that, though, I think everything held up exceptionally well. But I really wanted to make note that the 365s, after 100 washes or so, however many I've put those through, still looked and still felt great. And I think that says a lot about just that towel and why we love it so much.
Yeah.
But I also got to count how many Dragos I have, and I do, in fact, have 9 Dragos in my possession. So
People are starting to hoard those.
they
They're
are.
like collector's items.
Well, I
now.
was
I
thinking
think I have
like,
about 50 or 100 Dragos.
oh my
Yeah.
God, guys! So we know where all the Dragos are, so you can start offering Levi money under
Well,
the table for those.
There
They
were
are
people in
used.
like New Zealand or Australia who are like, I'm buying it from my local distributor. They still have some new ones. It's like,
Yep.
Yeah, you're running out, but
Gotta
they're-
get 'em.
They're
They're
just
out there.
a good-looking towel.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
look good. I like seeing them in my bins, and I like seeing them stacked up. I enjoy that.
Appealing.
What I also want to pick up is a lot of people don't know this, but
Hondas are actually really fast.
the minx is beginning to we're beginning to phase out the minx slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Over time, it's not. I don't want to say it's a permanent.
The
thing,
Minx Royale's not going anywhere.
The Minx
but the
Royale's not going
Minx
anywhere.
Edgeless is.
but the edgeless minx. And what I have found is the minx that I did have, because funny enough, I use my blue minx. I use that for my wheel cleaning.
Yeah.
Because my wheels are I keep them really clean, and the minx is soft enough to get around the spokes, and I like that I can kind of contour to things, especially when I'm doing a rinseless wash or even with soap and water. But what I was surprised is those towels being my wheel towels for the last year and a half, how good they still look and how good they still feel.
Yeah.
And I can't really believe it, because I think most people, when they start to feel them get clogged up, they just toss them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But wash them, give them a couple washes, run some vinegar through them and things like that.
Yeah, they actually do clean up really well.
And they clean it, but my edges also felt great.
Yeah.
So a lot of times with those minx edgeless, a lot of people would find that the edges were a little bit hard from the ultrasonic cut, and that was pretty normal. You'd have to stretch them out a little bit. But these, after so many washes, actually begin to soften up, and these are really nice towels. So I'll probably have to pick up a few more of those before they leave us.
Yeah.
Because I really like those towels.
Coral fleece is a cool material.
It is. It's a cool material, and I think that it makes sense for the right job. A lot of people say, hey, I use it for compound and polish removal. It is giving me some micro-lint, and that's just normal of that style of weave. But when it comes to cleaning your wheels or cleaning areas that you need
They're
to
nice.
kinda
It's a nice
contour to,
towel.
Yeah.
well, it's even great door jams, right? Using a damp minx on door jams, that thing gets in everywhere, and it's perfect because it's still soft enough to it's not going to damage anything, but it's also not as nice as an eagle to where you feel bad about using it.
It's malleable, but because it's the fibers just are more densely packed in there than, say, like your other more open construction, like an eagle or something. They're more densely packed into a similar space. You cover more area and contour, and you don't have as many gaps. So you're really getting everything covered when you're washing with it. It's nice. It covers it all.
It's true, yeah. So, I don't know. Between that, though, like I said, I was really impressed at just how well these towels, because we always inspect towels when they're brand new here.
Oh, yeah.
We fill I don't know how many hundreds of towels a day, but going back through the towels that we use and abuse at home every week or every wash, I oftentimes I'll inspect them to a certain extent, but I never really look at them. I just say, hey, I know that this is probably this many years old or this is this many months old. I know it should be fine, and I trust in that towel because I know what that towel can go through. But being able just to kind of sit there, I sat at my kitchen table, laid everything out, and just grabbed each towel, looked at it, said, okay, this is pretty good. I found a couple towels that apparently I had dropped in some twigs, and I said, okay, I don't know why that got thrown back in here, but that's tossed. And so I tossed that and just kind of go through all the different variations there.
Nice. Yeah.
So it was nice.
That sounds therapeutic and relaxing.
Yeah.
It was. It felt like work as well. I was sitting there like, am I working? Should I turn on the Rad Company podcast so I can fold towels while listening to myself talk?
There you go.
I mean,
Dane's like, that's what
it's not
Liz
a bad
does.
idea.
it's not the worst idea.
Well, today also, for those of you who listen to this, obviously tomorrow, today's the last day of the One Wing Challenge.
Yes.
So we're going to get to see who won the
excited.
kits today.
Yeah.
Later this afternoon. It ends on the 22nd
Going to
of
a
April.
good cause.
2019 for somebody listening.
2019,
to this years
April
in the future.
22nd, 2019 at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That will end. So we'll get those sent out this week to the winners, and all the money is getting donated to the UCP, which we're excited about.
Yeah.
All in all, it's been a really great.
It has.
It's been neat to see it shared across all the different platforms
Yeah.
on Facebook and all the different groups, Instagram, seeing all the stuff Kay's been doing, pushing it, everything Rupes has been doing, Lake Country, us.
I've been happy to see people embracing it too, rather than complaining about spamming or something like that.
Right.
It's like, it's for a good cause, guys. So
Yeah.
it actually has purpose. It has merit, and it's fun too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. If you haven't watched it already, I don't know what you're doing. You need to go watch that as soon as this is
Yeah,
over.
and next year we want to do it again, and we'd like to open it up to more companies to be involved,
Yeah.
as well as anybody can come do it.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to figure out how to get here.
Yeah. And I'll link the video in the description below us here so that people can go visit it if they haven't, or share the link with a friend,
Yep.
And even after the bidding and the auction for charity ends, the video will still be there, so you can go check it out. And we wanna expand for next year. It should be fun. We got some ideas, but
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited just to watch the final hour of bidding.
I
That's
know,
always
me
the
too.
most intense when in like any that's where your heart's racing. You're like, am I gonna
Ping,
win? Am I
ping,
gonna
ping,
win?
ping, ping. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we can finish out at. Right now, we're all three kits are basically, I think Aaron's kit's about $1,825. Jason and Andy's are both over the $2,000 mark.
Yeah.
And I mean, guys, we're talking, it's like $2,500 worth of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see if it goes any higher, but realistically, that's a pretty good deal for
Yeah.
what they're getting if
Yeah.
they're getting it under
They're
that.
getting some pretty
Oh,
some
totally.
pretty nice stuff in
Yeah.
that kit.
You're getting a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway,
All right, guys. Well, that was a good chat. I felt like we covered
too
a lot of
shabby, yeah.
bases. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
So next week we will have the scale once again. We'll see where we found ourselves a week
gotta
later.
get started.
But starting today, this evening, I will be having a keto dinner. So
Heck yeah,
Excellent.
Dane.
We'll,
Let's do it.
see,
I too will be
what
having
happens.
a keto dinner. It's probably just going to be turkey and cheese.
Fair enough.
Give us an idea on what you guys want to see.
Yeah.
What should the prize be for the winner? Let us know down in the comments. Something that would make it fun and
Yeah.
competitive.
Or to make it more challenging, they can take guesses at what individual weights will be losing each week. That'd be kind of
Oh.
fun.
I would
how
also
much
like to
they
start
think we'll
an
lose.
underground betting ring
Oh,
where
yeah.
they can start,
Maybe
Or,
see
not.
if Vegas starts taking some.
So
throwing
we're
some
not
cash
shady.
amounts around.
No.
We start having people like sabotage us, like,
Listen, all
because
y'all.
it's 100-1 on Anthony. right now.
like I'm eating like a salad, and I'm like, this tastes really buttery, and they're like, no, it's totally
no
healthy.
idea what you're talking about.
You know, it's,
This was a salad
pouring
delivered
pure-
from so and so from somewhere.
Oh.
yeah. Stroop waffles are gonna show up at the door from Hans. I'm gonna say,
Oh.
damn it, Hans, you're
They're 24 grams, like 24 grams of carbs per Stroop waffle.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you're a mean person, you look up chipcookies.com and you'll send them to the
Just
building
don't.
with their names on them, and just
No,
saying,
I won't eat them.
other people will eat them in front of them. It'll be great. And with that said, Guys, thank you so much for listening. If you're watching, thank you for watching on
Yeah.
the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel, which is, once again, as I always say, separate from our Rag Company YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed to both. And if you actually want to find out when we release new videos, make sure you hit that notification bell. That little bell actually tells you when we release stuff all the time. Otherwise, YouTube's algorithm just kind of tells you when it feels like it, which it seems like if you're subscribed, you should be seeing it all the time, but YouTube changed their stuff up.
correct.
So, any rate, guys, do that and leave us a comment below. Like, we want to know what you guys think because this could go any direction, really.
Yeah.
But other than that, we'll see you next week. Adios.
See ya.
See ya.